Welcome, listeners, to the Member Advantage, the brand new podcast from the Capital Region Builders and Remodelers Association. Hey guys, this is Christine.
And this is Kristen.
Welcome back to our podcast. And today is all about the Best in Building Awards.
Woohoo!
It's our favorite topic.
This is one of our favorites. Christine is the chairperson of the Best in Building Awards Committee. Mm-hmm. She wears multiple hats here.
Sure do.
So we actually both do love this event, and this time of year is pretty exciting.
It is. It's special. It's a time to celebrate all of our member types, and it's always fun to, get dressed up in your cocktail attire and schmooze and then see all the beautiful projects.
Right, it's a fun night out, like industry night out. We get about 230 people now.
Yeah.
It's really grown so rapidly. It's just exciting.
It really is.
The energy is really awesome. It's a fun night. So this year's event is on Thursday, November 13th from 6 to 10 p.m. And we are moving to a new venue for us, the Franklin Plaza Ballroom in Troy.
Beautiful venue for anyone who hasn't been there, and just a little background of how and why we choose our venues. So we always try and choose a place that has some sort of architectural detail, something maybe with a little history or just something that's unique.
We never want a ballroom like in a Hilton.
No offense to Hilton.
Right, no, they're great for other stuff that we do. We love them.
We do. But just not for this. This event is about the best of the best in our industry. So we want to have a space that reflects that. And when we visited the Franklin Plaza, we were like, wow.
Another thing we try to do is, move into different parts of the area that we represent. Last year we were in Schenectady at the Edison downtown, which was really very cool, stunning space.
Stunning.
But unfortunately, or fortunately, we've outgrown it.
Yeah.
Really, we were at capacity last year.
Maybe a little over.
A little over, even, which we were super happy about.
Yeah.
But
kind of a good problem to have.
It was. But, we have to address the problem. And so we were looking for some place that could accommodate, up to 250. So Franklin Plaza has the space for us. We're going to have our cocktail hour in their upstairs space, which is equally beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful woodworking.
Yes. And then come downstairs into the ballroom area for a buffet dinner.
And another great feature is there seems to be plenty of parking. There's a large lot right next to Franklin Plaza that is specifically for the venue. There's another small lot behind the venue, and then there is tons of street parking in that particular area. So I'm hopeful that we've got plenty of spots. But as always, if you want a carpool, doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt.
So for those of you who may be new here or who have never attended the Best in Building Awards, we just kind of wanted to give a little history of why this event was formed and kind of what the point of it is. So we have had the Parade of Homes for quite a few years now, and we didn't really have an event that celebrated all of our member types. So the Parade of Homes really celebrates our builder members, but the Best in Building Awards is meant to celebrate our associate, our remodeler, and our builder members. The awards were created back in 2012. Thank you, CRBRA. And so that means we are on our 13th year, which is kind of cool. Lucky number 13. Hey!
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't even think of that till just now.
On the 13th.
On the 13th. Oh, boy.
We're having a major Taylor Swift moment here.
Okay, this is going to be a great year, guys.
This is going to be so fun. It's evolved greatly since then.
Sure has.
Christine, you've been on the committee for probably 10 of those 13 years at least, maybe more.
It's been a long time. I couldn't even tell you.
And this
Life's a blur.
True. This is my 7th.
Wow. Okay.
So we have expanded not only in attendance, like we told you about previously, but in the number of awards we have, the pricing, like the price points of the different awards, to make sure that we are offering a range of opportunities for each level of membership we have, and then within that what projects people are doing. And it's just really exciting to see how we have evolved.
It is. But I will say one thing that has not changed is the committee itself. Well, the committee's changed. and I'm so thankful for everyone that's been on the committee.
Yes.
We have a new committee member this year. But the committee itself is involved in planning the event and helping to sort through the categories, get them updated, like Kristen said, change the price points, trends in building that are coming up, making sure we've got, different things for people to enter into. But they have zero control who wins any award. They also don't know who enters any of the awards. They learn the night of the event just as everybody else does.
Right. Even as chairperson, Christine has no idea what's about to come.
You can slip me a 50 if you want. And,
and she will just use it at the bar.
I will just use it at the bar to buy a Sauvignon Blanc, but I cannot help you. Yeah, from New Zealand. But I cannot help you win your award because I don't even know that you entered into that category.
Right. So as staff, myself and Kaylee, our staff member, are the only ones who know who has entered. I'm the only one that communicates with the judges. They have no idea who any of you are, and we also make the award or the entries blind, so they don't even see company names unless it's like the marketing awards and it has your logo splashed on it. But otherwise, they don't even know what company did what.
I did judging for an out-of-market design awards. I want to say, were they out of Boston maybe?
Yes.
And it was a really cool experience because I got to see it from the judge's perspective. And you have literally no idea who submitted these projects. You have the photos, which are the most important. So schedule your photographer today because the photos really make or break. Yes, your descriptions are helpful, but I will just say from personal experience as a judge, the photos really help. But you're just seeing descriptions, maybe price points if that was part of the questionnaire. But it's kind of a cool experience, and it's really fun. I had a great time judging for the other home builders associations.
So like Christine said, the photos really matter. Also, your paragraph descriptions, they do matter.
Right.
You know your project so well that for you may think, oh, this is kind of silly. Obviously, they can see in the photo what's happening here. But you have to remember, anyone outside of your project hasn't been there to see it in person. So even though they're looking at the photos, you still need to explain the intent that you had. So that's why we try to in the descriptions of the awards, when you're on the website or when we send emails and have attachments about the awards, we don't just like to include, we do include the judging criteria for each award that we have, and then also the questions that you're going to have to answer. Early bird period is the first 2 weeks of August.
And those entries are $50, so you get a little savings there.
Right. So if you're prepared and organized, you get that savings. Then August 18th, we move into the on-time entry period, and that is about a month. It goes until September 15th. At that point, it's $65 an entry. And then we go into late entries, which is September 16th through the 26th, and those are $75 per entry. And we do have Lydia Kolbita confirmed as our MC again this year. Last year, she came in and did an amazing job. And you all recognize that because we saw so many wonderful comments about her in the survey. So many of you said, she was able to do it quickly, but also had, fun. It was just, she was a blast. So she has been kind enough to agree to come back. She's excited to be with us again.
She's very sweet. And speaking of the survey, I do want to thank everyone who took the time to fill that out. As a committee, we do sit down. We generally do it right after the event, and then we'll kind of do a refresher in the spring when we meet again. And we really do listen to the feedback of things that that are in our control and that we can change. And there have been some things in the past where like, wow, why didn't we think of that? Some things are just kind of out of our control, but we certainly do appreciate everybody that takes the time. There were really sweet comments last year, and definitely some things that we took into consideration this year.
We recently had a Best in Building Awards committee meeting where we asked the new people who joined the committee to review last year's awards that we had and the descriptors of them because we wanted fresh eyes. And so then they come to the meeting prepared to discuss, hey, I'm looking at this price point. I don't know if it makes sense anymore.
Right.
Or they say, what's the reasoning behind this? And, then that's where the experience of, the other committee members comes into play to say, well, this was done in response to, something that happened 2 years ago.
Right.
Where we needed to clarify this.
Right.
Or many years ago, the marketing category was just one for builder, remodeler, and associate. And really those are have two very different audiences.
Yes.
And so deserved their own category. So we really do get into the minutia of it all. We reviewed every single category that we had. And we really try to balance the number of awards we have because we want to be able to honor as many projects as possible. While also keeping within the time frame of finishing the evening
right
before midnight. We understand the balance.
It's a balancing act for sure, because we always have these great new ideas and we're like, oh my gosh, we're going to add another category? Oh God.
Right. We try to go in with the idea of if we add something, we have to take something away.
Right.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we have 7 categories that all of the awards fall under. So they are associate marketing, builder and remodeler marketing, design, outdoor living, and remodeler. So the whole point is that we have categories that cover who you are and what you do.
Yep. And then within each of those categories, it's kind of broken down by who can enter into those categories. So some are very kind of
obvious.
So associate category and associate marketing, only associate members can enter into.
And this does give a good time to clarify that sometimes people say but what is an associate member? Yes. What am I? And that's a bigger question than I can solve. But in terms of your membership, if you're a builder, you're a builder. If you're a remodeler, you're a remodeler. If you're anything else, a supplier or a professional services like an accountant or a lawyer, if you're a trade, you're an associate.
I've heard a descriptor as an industry partner.
Yes.
So again, you're not a builder, you're a partner to the building and remodeling industry. You're an associate.
Right. So last year, because we hear from people so often about, I don't know which categories I fit into, we created this really easy grid to show you. So we have columns for each member type, builder, remodeler, and associate. Then we have rows for each of the categories. So it says yes in bold if you're eligible.
Or no if you're not.
Maybe that's what should be in bold.
Yeah.
So obviously, as Christine said, associates, associate marketing. But then they also are eligible for the design category because that's open for everyone, and outdoor living. Obviously, builders. Only builders can apply in that category. Builders and remodelers can go in the builder and remodeler marketing.
Yep. And then remodelers only in the remodeler category. But as Kristen mentioned, design and outdoor living are 2 categories that are open to every single member type.
Yes.
So those are good ones to look at, but then obviously look at your individual sector. And this chart will be on the website. It'll be an e-blast. You can always ask, Kristen or Kaylee or any of the committee members, what categories can I enter? And we're going to send you this little chart.
And then within these categories, then there are a number of awards. So, associate marketing has 6 awards under that umbrella. The design category is the largest. I believe there's 16 awards that fall in that. And that is because it is open to all members.
Right.
So that's where, builders, remodelers, associates, you're competing against each other.
And we have, as Kristen said, as a committee, we kind of really dive deep and get into these really deep philosophical conversations. The way these conversations go sometimes is amazing. But sometimes I'm we're getting real deep into this. But we have added a few different categories this year that we'll talk about. And we're going to highlight a few that maybe you don't know that it's there. And that it's kind of a good one to keep in the back of your mind, or if you know someone who is in that sector, let them know so that they can win, because you can be any member type. You can be a brand new member, a brand new company, or a company that's been in business for 40, 50 years to enter into these awards.
Right. There's no feeling from our side of things that like you need to be, established for 10 years before you're eligible.
Absolutely not.
There are no eligibility requirements for this other than you've paid your membership dues.
Right.
And you're a member. That's it.
And to me, I love seeing somebody win who has never won
Me
before.
too.
It's so exciting.
I love watching because I know who's going to win. And so then I love like watching when I know someone like to see their face. And it really is just such a sweet moment when they see that their project won.
Yeah.
So one of the ones that, like, we're not going to go into it. Obviously, we have kitchens, we have bathrooms.
Right.
Those are self-explanatory. We have a few that people seem to have more questions about. And one of them is best utility or special use space. And we actually have that in each of the obvious sector categories. So associate, builder, and remodeler. They each have their own. So best utility or special use space remodel. Or best remodeled utility or special use space.
Right.
Best new utility or special use space. And then for an associate, best utility or special use. But what is it? And this is an example of, if you look through our 10-page document of the judging criteria, and I know you're all just reading that to fall asleep, but if you look through, we do give examples on these ones where it may be a little bit confusing. So our examples for this are a laundry room, mud room, wine cellar, pantry, a playroom, coffee bar, home gym. I've seen a sauna.
Yeah. It really is anything. Basically, it's a specialty space. So it's not not that a kitchen's not special. They're so special, but
they're so special that they get their own
category. So this is kind of an area where you can be a little creative. We try and not have everything be too specific, because then you knock out some of these really awesome unique projects. So this is definitely a category that you can kind of get your creative juices flowing, and if you've designed or worked on this really cool space, it's a great one to look at. A new category that we are going to enter in this year into the associate category is best artisan detail or decorative element. Again, here we've kind of added some descriptors because that is somewhat broad. So it could be unique glasswork, a sculpture, a handcrafted element. So my brain goes to like a beautifully unique wrought iron staircase that, I've seen somewhere. They're not just like spindles that you buy off the shelf, that somebody has welded them and bent them, or a beautifully blown glass sculpture, or a handcrafted piece of wood, whether it's a countertop or something in a space.
Right. Looking at the builder category, we've made some changes over the last few years because we do recognize the broad range of new construction homes that are built. So if you're building for a client on Lake George that has a $5 million budget, your new home is going to be just on a different plane than a model home in a development that's going to have 150 houses in it.
Right.
Two very different customers. So a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago, we split them into best single family spec home, and then we created a custom home category. This year we've taken the custom home a step further by breaking that down into two to have it be 2 awards by square footage. So under 3,500 square feet and 3,500 plus square feet. So just to be able to recognize the amount of work and talent that goes into these homes, and recognize the budgetary differences that are a part of that.
Right, are very different, but they still are two amazing projects that deserve to be celebrated, but it's very hard to compare those.
Yes.
And that is why, again, it's a fine line of having too many categories and not enough. In the kitchen category, we're not going to compare a $20,000 kitchen renovation with a $175,000 renovation. So we're trying to be cognizant of that and do those breakdowns.
And be realistic as well. So especially looking at the kitchen design, is it even possible to do a kitchen for under $25,000? And the committee really determined no.
Yeah.
It's not. So, we've increased the lowest point there to being under $50,000. So, there still are projects that can fall into that category, but it's not fair to judge that against a kitchen that was $300,000.
Right.
So, again, being cognizant of these things. I love, especially at this time of year, like the outdoor living awards projects. Like, so seeing the entries come in for this is like so envy worthy for me.
A dream.
Because it's just gorgeous gardens and pools and just what the creativity is out of this world.
I just read an article yesterday saying that lanais are trending now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Keep that in mind for your awards if you've done any lanais. I don't know if it's called a lanai when it's in New York and it's not in Florida.
I feel like I only hear about it, like about Floridians and their lanai.
Yeah, well, they're coming to New York.
Okay.
There is a pipeline from New York to Florida, so that makes sense.
That's true.
Yeah. Another new category that we started last year was best use of hardscaping. Because, again, trying to be competitive, you've got this beautiful giant pool and backyard and this and that, and it's hard to compete if you've got a beautifully hardscaped area. So that's definitely something that we are hoping to get a few more entries in this year. Mm-hmm. If you know any landscapers.
Right. This is a good time for people to join the association if they haven't already, because then you're eligible for these awards. Mm-hmm. And, not only do you then get the personal satisfaction of saying that you're award winning, but you can put it in your marketing, you can tell your clients, gives you content for your social media, all of that.
A category that we have had for a while, but we kind of shifted gears. We moved it around a little. It's now under the Design Awards, is Best Tech Integration. So technology, it's not going anywhere, right?
It's only getting used more.
Yeah, and I feel like people are putting more money into their homes with these tech integrations. And this is something that is a great category to enter into. Could be creative use of a smart home, audio-visual technology, and it's like the possibilities are endless of what you could enter into in this category.
I think that it hasn't gotten entries the last few years because people feel a little intimidated by it. Like they think like, oh, yeah, I incorporated smart home, but like it's not to a level that's like award winning. But I think like take a step back from being so immersed in the industry that you think it's not a big deal, because to people outside of this industry, a lot of the things that you guys think are just like, oh, whatever, yeah, that's no big deal, are a big deal.
Yeah.
And people are excited about those things. When we have the Parade of Homes and people walk around the houses and see the different use of these things, you're probably thinking like no one's paying any attention to it. Yeah. Those are some of the comments that I hear the most is like, oh, okay, did you see what that switch did over there? Right. It made the blinds go up and it turned this light to this.
Yeah, my brain can't even comprehend the things that are going on. I'm like, I'm cool because I have an Alexa.
You're going to wake mine up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So all that to say, never feel intimidated to put an entry in for something, because you're all doing incredible work and maybe you're underestimating yourself a little bit.
And if you don't enter, you don't have a chance to win.
Exactly. I don't need to go into marketing too much other than to say this is just the opportunity to recognize that part of your team for their contributions. They're on your social media, just running that stuff while you're out, hammering nails. So just recognizing the work that's happening there to boost your business. So we have awards for new or updated logo, best use of social media is a good one. We've seen so many more people doing reels on Instagram. Some of you are on TikTok. Like, that's the stuff that we want to see more of and we want to recognize you for.
Absolutely.
We also have, best new or redesigned website, design center or showroom. So really just, it's an opportunity to recognize, the office kind of people in your business and what they're doing.
And this is a great category for some of those associate members who maybe don't feel like a bank.
Yes.
You're not going to have a specialty use space. That's okay. But maybe you do have an amazing website, or you have a brand new logo, or you've been running these TV ads, or maybe you're a lawyer, and same thing, any of those things. So for those associate members that are out there listening, take a look at this category for sure, because the Best in Building Awards is, again, for everyone. It is not just for the builders, the remodelers, it is for all of our members, and we encourage everyone to submit and also to attend. Even if you didn't submit, you can attend.
It's really fun to see the projects. There's just so many people there of all different member types. You get the owners of companies out. It's just a great time.
Right. And if you remember my tip of the day from like episode 1 or something like that, just try and meet one new person. And there will be 250 plus people there. So the odds are really in your favor. We gotta get back to those tip of the days.
I know. I gotta think of a good one. Tip of the day. Call your photographer, please.
Yes. Tip of the day. Schedule your photographer.
Even if your project isn't done now, don't wait for it to be done to call the photographer and schedule it.
Time is ticking.
And you have all of August, all of September.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Oh, it's plenty of time.
And especially,
we just all love to procrastinate.
Yes.
Every single one of us.
And I love that you do.
It's our favorite things to do.
And I love that you do in this case. Except when you call me on the day of the deadline and ask for an extension.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have photos yet, go in and work on the descriptions when you have 20 minutes to spend on, something different. So get that part of your entry going, and then you can put the photos in later.
Right, that's a good point. You can start your entries and you can save your progress.
Yes.
And go back in and make edits, and that's what we do. I like to get my entries started so I know which ones we're entering into, start adding descriptors, kind of put a few heads together of the verbiage that we want to use. So definitely take advantage of that. Well, I hope this was informative and it got you excited for our 13th year. So save the date, November 13th at the Franklin Plaza from 6 to 10 p.m.
And we will be coming at you with information about the entry period, but also our amazing sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah.
The event is only possible because of the support of our amazing sponsors.
It really is.
And very special thanks and shout out to Bellevue Builder Supply and GAF. They have been our exclusive event sponsor at the highest level as long as I've been here, and I'm sure years before that, and committed back in January to being that level sponsor again this year. So we already have them locked in, but we have a number of opportunities for every budget level you have, and it's a great opportunity for recognition because, like we said, it gets a huge audience.
It's a huge audience.
And we do a lot of promotion leading up to it with emails and, social media going out. So it really is a good opportunity to attach your name to the Best in Building.
It is. Thank you guys, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
The Member Advantage podcast is a production of the Capital Region Builders and Remodelers Association, hosted by 2025 President Christine Rabel and CRBRA Executive Officer Kristen Eggleston. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts. While we do our best to provide accurate and up-to-date information, any mistakes are entirely our own. This podcast is for informational purposes for the benefit of our members. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.